What does liberal arts and liberal studies mean?
You can actually choose between courses. So we have courses, for example, on political science. We have course on the behavioral sciences. We have courses from psychology, and we give you a whole year to decide on your choice. You know, the Nalanda University, the Takshila universities. These are the oldest universities of our times, wherein scholars came in from different parts of the world. This is the liberal arts of the ancient times, I would say. One may have the best of degrees and yet may not be equipped for life. At liberal arts, we try to equip you for life.
So, do you really think the employers are accepting this degree now in India? Hello, welcome everyone. This is Sanika Mate, your friend, your mentor, and your guide, welcoming everyone to the other episode of this particular podcast. Now, today, I'm very excited to welcome Professor Dr. Rupakjyoti Borah, Professor and Dean of the Jyoti Dalal School of Liberal Arts. And this is none other than NMIMS University. Dr. Borah is a leading voice in political science and international relations, and someone who truly embodies the spirit of liberal arts. He has taught and delivered lectures at top global universities, including the University of Cambridge, the National University of Singapore, and several institutions across Japan, Europe, Australia, and the US. He is the author of 4 influential books on global politics, including his latest, Beyond the BRI, which explores major global shifts and what that mean for countries like India. As an academic leader and mentor, he has played a key role in shaping liberal arts education in India and guiding students towards global opportunities. I am delighted to have him with us today to share his insights on liberal studies and why interdisciplinary thinking matters more than ever. Let's welcome Dr. Rupakjyoti Borah. Hello, sir, and thank you so much for joining our podcast today, giving us time for this particular conversation, which a lot of students and parents, a lot of questions which they have in their mind. Okay, so Dr. Borah, my first question to you, I would directly
And thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here on the show.
Thank you so much for that. Now, my first question to you, I would directly straight come down to the most important question. So as a mentor, as a counselor, I get this particular question asked a lot, asked by a lot of parents. A basic understanding of what does liberal arts and liberal studies mean? Is it same? Is it different? And I think coming from you, we would be clearing the air of confusion among parents. So can you please enlighten us? What is the difference? Is it same? What exactly is liberal studies and liberal arts?
Yeah, so thank you for having me on the show. I understand as a parent myself, I understand there's a lot of there's a lot of thinking in the minds of parents as to what exactly is a liberal arts degree. So liberal arts is, if I can explain it in layman terms, it's like it's like having a buffet meal. And then there is, for example, there is this Indian section, there is this Italian section, there is continental section, there is a Chinese section, and then you decide what to take from which section. So in liberal arts, you can actually choose between courses. So we have courses, for example, on political science. We have course on the behavioral sciences. We have courses from psychology, and we give you a whole year to decide on your choice. So after 2 semesters, then you start majoring in the topic of your choice or in the area of your choice. So in the first year, so you read everything. You read everything from history to social sciences to political science to psychology, thereby enhancing your view of the world. Because in today's world, we see there is AI, there is artificial, there are engineering subjects, there is medicine, all are improving. But along with that, in order to have a holistic view of things, I think liberal arts provides you the right perspective, and after that, once you have the clarity during the first 2 semesters, which is what we offer at JD Solola at NMIMS, then you branch off into your particular area of interest.
Okay. So basically, you are saying that liberal studies or liberal arts is a big umbrella
Of course.
which has sciences, which has humanities, which has social sciences,
Psychology.
psychology, and it has natural sciences as well.
We don't have natural sciences, but we have subjects like economics.
Okay. So it is a huge umbrella
And
which
marketing, then management, we have all these topics as well in JD Sola, in NMIMS.
Okay. So again, if I have to think, being a parent myself, sir, if I have to think a parent who is understanding what liberal studies is, if I have to differentiate a liberal arts degree or a liberal studies degree from a traditional BA BCom degree, or let's say I would not get management in between here, but a traditional BA BCom degree, how would you differentiate these two degrees altogether?
I think the differentiation is very clear. For example, if somebody is taking a BA in political science, so that particular student would only be taking papers in political science. But here in liberal arts, you would be studying, as I said, for the first year, you will be studying economics, you will be studying about Indian history, you will be studying management, you will be studying marketing, you will be studying advertising. Then you make up your mind as to what you really want to study. But in going in the traditional degrees, you don't have an option. From the day one, you are slotted. BA Pol Science is Pol Science, BA Sociology is Sociology. So you read or study only papers related to sociology, or even in management studies, BBA and other subjects. So here you have a wide variety of choices, and we give you an extra year to decide on what area exactly suits you. So that is the difference between a traditional BSc, BA degree and liberal arts. You have more choices, and then you decide what to do about those choices.
Many parents feel that liberal arts is not really for serious students.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know there is a perception.
Absolutely. Or rather, it is a very broad perspective. Okay. What I want to understand from you, that what is the level of seriousness or rigor in this particular degree?
I think it's the same rigor as there is in the traditional degrees, although there is a perception that even the nomenclature liberal does not exactly mean that we are liberal about everything in liberal arts. Liberal means we have a wider perspective, but I think it has the same amount of academic rigor. The attendance percentages are the same. The pedagogy is as in the other schools, other departments, other courses. So there is no difference as such. But the thing is, it has started late in India. It is already there in the Western countries, and even I myself have spent time in East Asia, in Japan, in Singapore. It is already there. It has caught up late in India. But I think it deserves, and it has the same level of seriousness as any other normal traditional course. And I think relating to the second part of your question, I think in the Indian system, some of the misconceptions are because it is relatively new. It's relatively offered in lesser number of places than in traditional degrees. For example, traditional degrees you can have right from Jammu and Kashmir to Tamil Nadu, and from say Nagaland to Gujarat, you will have the traditional degrees. But liberal arts is of course a niche field being offered even in Mumbai, for example. The JD School of Liberal Arts at NMIMS is the only school which is offering it on campus in Mumbai. So it's still a niche area, so maybe it will take some time for the perceptions to go away, but I am quite sure, I can vouch for it, that it has the same amount of academic rigor as any other traditional course.
I completely agree, Dr. Borah, but one thing which is out of curiosity I wanted to ask. I'm sure parents who are right now listening to this would not, possibly must have come across liberal studies for the first time. But a lot of parents must have also or already heard about the NEP 2020. Is liberal studies somewhere similar to the NEP 2020, which is launched by the government?
Yeah, of course. So liberal arts, I think we preempted the NEP. So NEP 2020 came into being only after 2020. But in liberal arts, we already have these kind of courses. We also have courses which we call enablers. So there are courses on Indian constitution, there are courses on the Indian political system, there are courses on basic economics. So we have all these courses. We have courses on yoga and others, which were later on now introduced as a part of NEP. But in liberal arts, we have them as a part of the curriculum, and which is even before the NEP came into being. So the thought process is the same, the timing is different.
Thought process is the same. So basically, right now we are moving towards the old style of teaching, which
see, India has a very long and ancient history of tradition of teaching. We have the Nalanda University, the Takshila universities. These are the oldest universities of our times, wherein scholars came in from different parts of the world. Their ruins are still in existence, and we have the Gurukul system, in which students went, they stayed with the gurus. They learned a whole range of subjects. And subjects were not only traditional subjects, but they were also learning life skills. They were learning archery. They were learning how to survive in the wild. They learned the art of picking fruits, wild berries. So this is what liberal arts, this is the liberal arts of the ancient times, I would say. They were still doing liberal arts then. And because life skills are very important in life. One may have the best of degrees and yet may not be equipped for life, and this is what at liberal arts we try to equip you for the students for life.
That's I think a very good in-depth information on that. But something which is now a worry which a lot of parents have, okay, lately for the last 5 years, if I can say, liberal studies or liberal arts is becoming very popular among the parents because of the dual degree which it offers, okay. Is it something which is accepted as well? Because eventually this is something which I kind of very strongly believe, which I heard Zakir Khan saying, that माँ बाप की problem ये नहीं है कि they don't want you to follow something, वो बस आपको गरीब नहीं देखना चाहते. So they would always ask you to take something which is a much more safer option. They want you to opt for something which would give them a cushion where they know that the output of this would be working. So do you really think the employers are accepting this degree now in India? Can a parent who wants their kid to follow liberal studies or pick up that degree can be assured कि job तो मिल जाएगा उसको?
I think see in liberal arts में क्या होता है, see after the first year you specialize. एक बच्चे को स्पेशलाइजेशन करना पड़ता है. सो दे मे बी स्पेशलाइजिंग इन, से वी हैव 6 क्लस्टर्स इन आवर यूनिवर्सिटी विच आर फॉर द बेनिफिट आई रीड आर लिटरेचर, कल्चर एंड फिलोसफी. एक है इकोनॉमिक्स एंड गवर्नेंस, एक है साइकोलॉजी एंड बिहेवियरल स्टडीज़, एक है सोशल एंड पॉलिटिकल स्टडीज़. Last 2 are communication and media, marketing and entrepreneurship. So जब ये लोग when they specialize in these particular areas, they get a degree wherein it says they specialize in economics and governance. So वो specialization is very important because it's not a BA liberal arts degree in general we provide. We provide a degree wherein a person बच्चे का major economics and governance में है, minor है marketing and media में है. So that opens up a wide range of opportunities for the students in those specific fields. क्योंकि it's not a wide arching thing, it's only BA in liberal arts. BA in liberal arts, major क्या है और minor क्या है. Depending on that, the opportunities open, and we have seen our students go on to either higher education or in different fields, and especially in the metro cities, bigger cities, the Mumbai Pune region, for example, the Delhi NCR region, the Kolkata region, the southern cities, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai. There are lots of opportunities which are opening up for students with expertise in say economics and governance, expertise in social and political issues, or in psychology per se. So, and as times roll in, as India becomes more open, we are soon to become the 3rd largest economy in the world. So नए sector आ रहे हैं. See, our traditional, to give you a bit of a background, my father was a doctor. So I never followed him into becoming a doctor, and my father's father is also a doctor. So I shifted the tracks. And see, I've made a living for myself. मैं तो अपना खाना खुद I'm paying for my own food, and I'm also supporting my mother also now. So this is proof that liberal arts is providing lots of opportunities, और ये as time goes by these opportunities will increase. जैसे जैसे time मतलब बढ़ता जाएगा, these and India is a growing country, we are a growing economy, the fastest growing major economy in the world. So I don't see any problems in student finding employment with the options of their choice. Of course, but they have to take something which is of their own interest and where they have to master. For example, if they take the media marketing track, उसमें अगर specialize करें उसमें they do good, and we have internships also. So that is also very important, because as I keep life skills are very important in life. Only a degree may not be enough, but हम लोग उनको internship का opportunity देते हैं, they go and intern with the best in their field. So that opens up a whole range of opportunities for them, which is not there in many traditional courses.
So thank you so much for providing us, with that lovely view. I think after this, parents definitely would understand that this can also be a degree. This can also kind of open, because as you spoke about life skills, life skills definitely is important. It is definitely we are moving towards that kind of education where life skills become an integral part of the learning. However, you have multiple times mentioned about JD Sola, the NMIMS, and one of the premium university we have in India. How exactly NMIMS delivers the liberal studies program, or it's called liberal arts with NMIMS, how the program is delivered, what would be the overview? If you can give a little understanding on that, it would kind of give student and parents a good insight on what they can expect.
Yeah, so I think at NMIMS and JD Sola and NMIMS, one of the advantages is we are located right in the heart of town in Mumbai. So you don't have to spend much time on the commute. Unlike in many other places, I've seen the universities set up across India. Liberal arts colleges and universities are located mainly outside the city centers. And I'm talking about North India as well, in the Delhi NCR region. I'm talking about the Mumbai Pune region. I'm talking about the southern cities as well. So unlike the others, NMIMS is located in the city center. So that it takes out the travel component in a big way. Then as regards pedagogy, we have some of the teachers who are the best in their field, and who deliver the teachers in a very humane way, I would say, because I think students nowadays they are learning a lot already from the YouTube. They are learning a lot from the social media and others. And my kids, I have two kids who also use social media a lot. So they are already on podcasts. So when I came for this podcast, my elder son was very interested, and I did not know exactly what to say, but he is already there because he also listens to podcasts. So students are learning from different sources which people of our generation were never exposed to. We never learned from podcasts. We learned from newspapers. We never even had internet till I reached my master's. So this generation of students need to be taught in a different way, and this is what our professors we try to understand, and this is why we try to inculcate a different kind of a learning in our students, and it's a very hands-on approach. So they have different they have a research writing component also. It's not very rigorous, but they have to submit a kind of a project or dissertation. It's called different, we can call it in different ways, at the end of their 3 years at JD Sola, which will give them an exposure to the wider world beyond what is the major area of interest also. And we have a host of guest lecturers coming in from with their own personal expertise from different fields. They come to JD Sola, give lectures, and we send our students to field on photography trips, on hiking expeditions, for internships, as I said. And then they go to museum visits, and they go for there are experts in different fields who they attend lectures by these experts. So it gives them a wide ranging exposure, which as I keep repeating is very important for them in the present days when life skills are very important. The government is also vocational skills are also very important. Because I think a single degree, a single expertise in one single domain may not be enough in today's world. So liberal arts is, I think, ahead of the curve, because we provide the students with a holistic kind of experience.
It's somewhere kind of makes more sense after what you have said, sir, because uh, I have I have heard this several times that no designation, henceforth going ahead, in the future would be able to work in silos. And I think the dual degree, or I would not say it's a dual degree, but having two majors, okay, would kind of equip students to ensure that they have better options.
Yeah, major and minor also. For example, when we graduated, we had only one major. And now they have a major and they have a minor. So they're left with more options. So option बढ़ जाते हैं. The more options we have, and life में it is better. I think
Absolutely.
that is
because
what,
you also become master of all eventually.
yeah.
Works. Now, what I want to understand is if you are looking at the majors and minors, okay, now this becomes a very crucial point for any parent or a student to boil down to a university. First, they need to understand what kind of major minors they have. So what major minor does NMIMS offer to students?
Yeah, so we have majors and minor in 6 different tracks, as I said earlier also. We have one track on literature, culture and philosophy, which is the humanities track. So within that we have a set of papers and from which the students are supposed to choose. So if they choose this track for the major, then we have a track on economics and governance. Within that we have around 12 to 15 papers. So if they choose this track, they take papers from this particular track. If they have a psychology and behavioral studies, they take papers from this particular track. Again, for social and political studies, they have to take papers from this particular track, and 2 more, communication and media and marketing and entrepreneurship. So they take papers, and this is after the first year wherein they study all the subjects in toto. So that is for the bigger overall view. Then once after the first year ends, the term 3, which is semester 3, they have to take papers from one particular area, which is the major area. Apart from that, they also have electives, which are from their minors, and plus another thing is we have the courses which are which we call it these open basket courses, wherein they can specialize on a whole range of subjects, which is open electives. Which could be yoga. Indian knowledge system is another thing which the government has been actively promoting. I think we have a long history of our own traditional knowledge, whether it be Ayurveda, whether it be yoga. And so all these things I think we can learn from all these. So it's like a holistic thing covering what is good with the modern system also, what we can take from our ancient times also. So I think बच्चों के they get a lot of options too, which we frankly we never had in our times. I wish I had liberal arts in my times.
Yes.
So this is it's quite a recent phenomenon, maybe around 15 to 20 years. Before that we never had liberal arts.
Now this kind of thank God that we have liberal arts, we have liberal studies, but it also brings me to the next question here. Okay, we're talking about a major minor combination. So does a student have the liberty of, because my question is coming from what you said, we never had the option. We had 3 options, and I'm sure the parents who are watching right now are also would agree with us that we had commerce, science and arts, and I think it was very well divided that good students would take science, then we had commerce, or जिनके इतने अच्छे marks नहीं होते थे, they had to kind of settle down with arts, which is now humanities is what we call. But with liberal studies, does student have the opportunity of combining science with humanities and commerce? Can they blend the major minor?
Yeah, we have, say for example, in the economics and governance, so they learn topics in economics as well, they learn topics in governance also. So there is one thing. Then in, for example, marketing and entrepreneurship. So we have some people they can take papers in marketing and entrepreneurship also, and in psychology and behavioral studies, both are different fields, but they can combine. So here we have at NMIMS we have that option of, because we have a basket of courses. So liberal arts is all about having a basket of courses with a specialization in one particular area, and not in one particular subject but in one particular area. So that is the advantage that we are offering at JD Sola. And then we have the minor track as well, which is a separate track. So इसमें अगर they specialize on one particular, which is and students they get a whole year to understand what they like. So ये एक advantage है. So initially after class 10, after class 12, students would directly go into say BSc in botany or BA in say history. But अभी हम लोग बच्चों को और एक साल दे रहे हैं just to figure out what they are interested in. So एक अच्छा एक I think then they figure out that this is what they are interested, then they choose that area. So options तो ज़्यादा आ रहे हैं. So it's a good option for parents as well. And parents also should not be forcing children. Just like my doctor father never forced me to become a doctor. So I ended up doing this. So I'm quite happy with what I'm doing. So ये भी, and the parents, I know Indian parents are very worried. I think it's not only Indian but Asian parents are very hands-on. Yeah, hands-on. Yeah, there is a book about tiger moms. Some of the parents and children may also, Asian parents are like tiger moms and tiger dads. So I think I think we'll have to do away with that thing and let our children explore for themselves. They may make mistakes also, but in एक साल में अगर mistake करेंगे, they have a chance to figure out, and then by that time they're more mature. They decide on what area to take, or then they go on from there.
So this is something which is very interesting, which you spoke about. You know, we are getting into parenting, which is a very touchy topic, and we don't really want to get there. But yes, it is a very integral part for a student who is looking at finding its, its ground, looking at what really they are able to resonate to. But with life skills, with the options, in fact, now the students are spoiled for choices. For us, it was, 3 options, usme se ek chunna hai. But now the students have opportunities and options, and with the exposure, it's very difficult and it's only creating confusion. But one thing which really helps them to understand what really works for them is the experience. That would not lie, and that would not really kind of give them wrong signals whether it's either they are enjoying or either they are not enjoying. And that's exactly what universities are experimenting with. Okay, so with NMIMS, what exactly the experiential learning experience student can expect. And also, world is becoming a smaller place. So just to add to this, question which I have asked about experiential learning, I also want to understand about the exchange, the student exchange which happens. And now I think all the universities across the world are collaborating with each other. How NMIMS is looking at these two things?
I think that's a very good question. The experiential learning part is very important because then students learn through their experience. Because there's a saying that I see, I forget. I hear, I forget, but I do, I remember. So when children do or get into a kind of experience, which may not be the right experience, they may not like that experience also, but they learn from their experience. And as children, I am a parent myself, I think sometimes you have to let them make mistakes. They have to figure out whether it's right for them or wrong for them. Of course, if there is a danger involved, we have to caution them about the danger, but I think as parents, we need to allow them to make their choices. So, and coming to the collaborations front, at NMIMS, we have a host of tie-ups with foreign universities wherein students spend some time, some few weeks or even more at different universities outside of India, which gives them a completely different picture of how the students there in another country, another setup are working, how they are studying, and in the end, I think it's a good experience for both sides because even the foreign kids, they learn a lot from our kids. And I have seen this generation is, I think, for example, I have seen my students, they are organizing a kind of a fest, their own fest, but the kind of energy, the enthusiasm they have is remarkable because they have been looking out for sponsors, and not only looking out, they have managed to gather sponsors on their own, which in our times we could never do. So you see, they have learned through experiential learning. They have learned how to raise funds by themselves. They have learned how to organize events. They have learned how to approach very high-ranking people in different fields, and they are doing it themselves. We are there just to give them some guidance, but the running on the field, they are doing it. So I think that kind of learning is really helping them, and I think this is, what sets Indians apart from many other people across the world. I think we are more hands-on, and the students also, they have to get their hands dirty, and then only they will learn. They'll make mistakes, but I think in the long run it all works out.
I kind of a supporter of the statement what you make, that in the long run eventually everything works out. Now, coming to the most important part, okay, we spoke about the experiential learning, student exchange program, but internships, I think exposure is what I am right now, talking about. I recently, we just spoke about how students are exposed to the internet. They're learning from podcasts. There are sources of information which they are gathering. And I think now a 16, 17-year-old, a boy or a girl or a student is much more aware, self-aware and aware of what is happening around them. The exposure is quite a lot, which also gets them to ensure that they are, before they join the workforce, they take a little hands-on. What I'm referring to is the internships. Dr. Borah, what exactly NMIMS does to ensure that the students are getting that experience of internships before they join the workforce?
We connect them to different firms, both in Mumbai and outside of Mumbai, in different parts of India. So we help them to reach out to those organizations, because if some of them they reach out by themselves also, but it's quite difficult. But because we already have a brand name, when people say we are from NMIMS, it's easier to reach out to those organizations. So we act as a bridge between the student and these organizations. So many organizations are also now, they provide internships to students as a kind of a way, both paid and unpaid, as a kind of bringing in fresh ideas, fresh talent, and so many of these later on in the longer run are absorbed by those companies. So we act as a go-between between these companies and the students, and we help them reach out to a host of places, and in many cases our teachers accompany them. Because, for example, our psychology students, they are doing internships in hospitals, sometimes in some mental health institutes, which are also critical topics now. So students get to learn from the best in their field, and these are different issues. Sometimes they may be having some mental issues, which is also a big issue in today's generation, because they are not only learning from us, we only learned from what our parents told us or grandparents told us. And now in major metropolitan cities, we are increasingly living in nuclear families. So then they don't have the grandparents to reach out to, like I keep giving I had my grandparents living with me. So they reach out through the internet, some of which information may not be correct also. So by getting these internships, they reach out to the experts in their field, which is very helpful for them. Because they get to know and meet them in person, and sometimes it leads to employment opportunities. Even if it doesn't, it gives them a bridge which allows them to reach greater heights once they pass out from the university.
Which is a good option, considering they need to be prepared before they actually kind of go out in the world.
They need to be prepared, because the world may sometimes turn out to be very different from what they imagine. It may be the same, it may not be the same. It depends on luck and the locale also, the two aspects, both L's.
Now, I think the most important part for a parent would be that, they are investing in the education, because education again is not really as easy and affordable as it was earlier. At times, the fees can be very exuberant. Yeah. So eventually parents do look out for an option where the student gets a placement. So when we talk about NMIMS, I want to understand that what kind of placements or a future which a student can expect for themselves or parent can see for their kid, when they are taking the degree from the JD Solar.
Yeah, we have a centralized placement assistance system, and we also have individual placement counselors in our school also, who act as a go-between between the college and the outside world. So they also organize lectures by the experts from the different fields. They come to JD Solar. So our students meet these the high-profile experts in the field, and they also meet our students. So when later on when they go for job interviews, they may have already met this or that particular candidate while they come to NMIMS. So this is how it helps, and in a centralized way also we keep track of who's looking for what opportunities, and sometimes it's not only about employment opportunities. If they're looking for advice on where to go for higher education, we also provide that. And as teachers also, we do a whole lot of career counseling ourselves, because many of the students, they come to us, my faculty, and they ask क्या करना है, इसके बाद क्या करना है, कहाँ पे options है. And because we have seen the world, we have seen different universities myself in different parts of India. So मुझे एक idea है कहाँ पे, for example, what sells in Delhi NCR may not be the same as what sells in Mumbai, the Mumbai-Pune region. So accordingly, हम लोग के experience से we tell them, and this, I think it all in the end it helps the students.
Now, while I'm talking about the placement, while I'm talking about internships, the exposure, suddenly I just kind of got a thought in my mind, which was asked by a student yesterday. Okay, I'm kind of backtracking here, but suddenly I realized there was a question which was asked, and I think it really needs to be answered. Normally, when parents and students are looking out for a degree for themselves, okay, they are mainly looking at what exactly the student is tilting to. So I'm sure you would get such students who would say that, sir, I just don't know. I don't know where to go. Do you think those students are better suited for liberal studies? Because that's what exactly is happening. Is that the right approach by the student to do? Or there can be some other approach as well to find what they are looking out for?
No, it depends from student to student. Every student is different. There are some who come to liberal arts sometimes because they don't know what they want to do. And there are others who come to liberal arts because they know that this is what they want to do. So I have met in my, say, last 16 years of teaching all over India, from Karnataka to Gujarat and other parts of India, and now in Mumbai. So I've seen both the types of students. There are some students who are very focused that this is the only thing we'll do, liberal arts. And there are some students, as I said, who don't know what to do. So I think it's good for both the categories. And I think nowadays students, they make up their mind by the time they reach class 10, or if not by class 10, by class 12, they make up their mind. And if they still cannot make up their mind, we have given them an extra year in which they can still make up their mind. And I think, as I keep saying, in the long run it works out, because I think it's difficult for students, especially now with so many tremendous exposure to the internet, to make up their mind as to what they really want to do, because they may see a flashy career, flashy movies, stills on the internet, saying that this is what you get after doing a XYZ course from this XYZ university. But that may not be the truth in all countries. It will all depend from country to country and place to place within a country also. So I think it depends from student to student. But overall, I think the kind of students we are getting in liberal arts are those who actually want to do liberal arts.
Lovely. So if you are looking at liberal arts, definitely for all the parents, I think it's a very clear answer that this definitely works. Now, while we are wrapping up, I have this last question to ask you. Now, this particular question is for all the students and parents who are, considering liberal studies, who are right now at a juncture where they don't really know if this is the right space. What would you tell them why they should be opting for liberal studies without any second thought?
I think the most important thing for parents of this kids of this generation is that they need to take a long-term view of things, because it should be a 10 to 20-year spectrum, I would say, from my own experience as well. Because things are rapidly changing as India develops, as we become the economy progresses further, the foreign companies coming into India. I just give you an example of one area which is coming up rapidly, including in Mumbai, which is called Risk Consultancy, which is, for example, if Indian companies which are now going global across the world, they have to make some investments in some African country or some Southeast Asian country, they need to do research on whether the ground situation in that country is safe for investments or not. So then they employ these risk consultants, and they do a thorough study, and before they put the moolah in. So there are newer and newer areas which are coming up. So liberal arts will prepare your kids for these areas of the future. And with the NEP kicking in, the whole lot of areas, and now you have, for example, the 4-year, we have the 4-year courses. Previously, when students used to apply for the American or even other universities, they had the 3-year model, which the foreign universities would not accept. But with the 4-year model, it's very easy to get into these universities because they follow the same track. Right. So I think liberal arts is it's an opening, it's a window to the future India, and I think parents need to take that into view. So they, of course, there will be some doubts, of course, because it's a new area. But as a parent myself, what I want to tell you is, I think liberal arts is a safe bet. In an India which is rapidly expanding in all ways, our global footprint is expanding. So our students and liberal arts students as a whole, I think they have got the right life skills to take on the global, not only challenges at the national level, but also the global challenges. And as the world opens up, newer and newer opportunities will open up for the liberal arts students.
Fantastic. I hope this particular episode, this particular conversation has helped you get a little understanding, a little insight on what liberal studies is, what liberal arts is, and whether you as a parent or a student can really consider this post your 12th. Okay. If you have liked this particular podcast, please make sure that you just leave a comment ensuring that you liked it. If you have questions, please leave a comment asking the question. I will ensure that I answer all the questions for you. And for anything else, and for more such content, please subscribe. We will be sharing more content like this. And with this, I just want to thank you, Dr. Borah, for taking out time and having this conversation with us. I'm sure this particular podcast would help a lot of so many students and parents and would give them clarity to move ahead.
Thank you. It's my pleasure as well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.